Okay, it's 4:15 in the morning. I'm on my second cup of tea, and we just had a second round of fireworks. I'm just blown away, seriously, by the people who do neighborhood fireworks. Like, it's, I don't know, it's so selfish. It's hard to even, like, 4:15, like, they were up. I don't even know. Stella and I went to sleep, and it was going wild. And then I went to sleep. Then I woke up, and it was like, I don't know, 11 or something. It was just going like crazy. And so that was harder to go back to sleep then. It was so fucking noisy. But I went back to sleep. So I don't know when it ended. When I got up at 3, it has been completely quiet until just now when somebody decided to set them off. But that somebody has been doing that at 4 o'clock in the morning lately anyways. And then with the amount of PTSD and dogs, how much chaos this creates for dogs. Like, dogs go running off. They escape their house. They freak out. If you've ever been around a dog that has, there they're going. That's a different place too. The other one was from over here. Now they're shooting them over here. It's like, oh, you're going to do them at 4? Well, we will do. It's like, didn't you guys run out last night? And it's not even, I don't know, I think there's some of the pretty ones because I could hear some, explode and then that, but a lot are just this explosion, just an explosion. Like, I just don't even get it. Well, one of the things I don't get is, what are you celebrating? Is this what you call freedom? Like, do you have any idea? Do you even celebrate it? Are you against the flag too? And then you're out there celebrating like something that we don't even have. So that's weird. And then it's like, it's just about blowing things up, just making a bunch of noise. And there, of course, has been, a lot of chaos. At a parade in New York, truck barreled through, ran over some people. There's fire. People were seeing fires. Like they were leaving a fireworks show and go around the thing. There's a huge fire. A huge fire. I don't even, it was like in the city. So I don't know, but this is the kind of shit where they'll blame it on fireworks. They use these things to set them off, and then it flips back on us. Oh, well, you guys with your fireworks. It's like, no, this is it's like a beard. It's like, yeah, they'll be enjoying that, and we'll just blow this up, and nobody will notice. And there was some different things that blew up, and there's all sorts of just chaos all over the place. I don't even remember. But yeah, they didn't waste this one. It didn't do the thing that is going to affect us all at the same time, though. And I saw more vacation or videos where there's people in Cancun. It was hit. It's still going. Like, it's going right now. And the people I saw doing videos, they were like, pray for us. They were freaking out and scared. Like, they're right on the beach and the water receded way out. I went and checked his other videos, and 2 hours ago, it was still just blowing and blowing and blowing, but they were still there. It was like in Acapulco, the windows all just blew out of those hotels and shit. And a lot of these people, they go to these places and they don't know the first thing about what to do if there's a hurricane or something. Like, they are maybe came from a place that there's tornadoes or whatever. It really is going to different realities. We experience different things. We have different environments. We have different energies in the places we are. And we're either in alignment, we're not in alignment, we're there for whatever that experience is, but it's all different realities. And it's just that we get confused over it or something, because thus far we've had the ability to leave our reality and go into other realities. And it's trippy to, like, hold on, because this just shows like a side of people, a side of, like, I don't know, do you travel much? Hold on a sec. So this mom and daughter or in Italy. And when I went to Portugal and Spain, it started out, me and my daughter were just going to go. And then it was like, oh, this is going to be so cool, because as we were doing the trip, and we kept getting these really good deals through Scott's deals. If you ever looking for any, but all the whole thing is falling apart on our travel. Like this is it falling apart. So, but back when we would go, you could go through Scott's deals, and you could get these discounted tickets. And so my daughter and I, we got our round trip flights for all of that for like 300. So then we started telling the other sisters, and the tickets kept going up. Once 300 ones were sold, then there was 400, then there was 500, then there was 600. So anyways, one person ended up having to pay 600, but still that was so much cheaper than any place else. But anyways, so our trip ended up being a whole bunch of girls. So a whole bunch of us went, and we, it was really fun. But the food was so different. Like I've gone to other places, and like it's easy for me in Mexico to find food. Let me think of other countries. Definitely when I went to London, but I was much younger then too. Like every place I've been, I was like limited food that I could find, but I was aware that these people's food. This is how these people eat. This is what they eat. So yeah, they're not gonna eat like us or cook like us. This is what they eat. You've left your reality, you've gone to their reality, and this is how they live. And when we went to Portugal and Spain, especially in Portugal, that was the funniest. Because my one daughter and I, we had done a day where we went and walked around and we're looking at buildings, taking pictures. This is really, really beautiful. And my other daughter, like the other girls all went to, because there was other, besides my daughters, there was other girls. And they all went to the beach. And some might have done something else, but it seemed like they went to the beach and we wanted to stay and go shopping and walk around, stuff like that. And they all didn't want it. It was like a lot of like walking, and they were like, oh, we want to go late on the beach. And so and they had a really, really great day, what they did. And my daughter and I did too, where we went, the food thing was such an ordeal, especially she's such a hard fucking core vegan. She's got, God, I would always be constantly like, you gotta let down some of these rules. And but I'm vegetarian, but anyways, but she did eat fish. We did get, fish, I think. I think she ate some fish. But anyways, while we were trying to find something to eat, but when we ordered, or maybe it was just I don't remember. I just remember the fish just came out. It was just like a whole fish. It was like so different. Like with what you would order on the menu, it said something in our heads. We think it's cooked a certain way, and then it comes out and it's like boiled potatoes with boiled fish or something. It's like, oh my God. And the people don't speak English. And everywhere we went, the food was just like, it was cooked different. The other girls in the group all found these little poor boy sandwich things that they really liked, and those were good. The baked stuff and stuff is really good. But anyways, you go and it's hard to find food that is right. So when this or you just gotta, deal with it. You just gotta find something to eat. These women, they were in Italy, this mom and daughter, and they ordered shrimp salad. Yeah, it was shrimp salad. And so the food came, and she's showing the video of their food. And it's just like a big, hair's stuck on my fingernail, a big bowl of salad, just like a big bowl of salad, big bowl of lettuce. And then on top of it, just some boiled shrimp just dumped on top of it, just like it was a big pile of shrimp though. I can't believe they were complaining. But this big pile of shrimp just dumped on top of it. And they were just like, oh my God, we're in Italy at a restaurant, and look at this. This is what we got. We ordered a shrimp salad, and this is what we got. I mean, come on, Italy, do better. Just like, oh my God. This is how they eat a shrimp. Like, this isn't what, that they don't eat like we eat. Like, you may not even have known what the hell. Like, I don't know, you know. Or if that's how they eat shrimp salad, that's how they eat shrimp salad. Like, it's just so funny. And it's this, that's the entitlement part. That's the part where it's like everything should be how we want it to be, no matter where we go. That's like a J-Lo attitude. Like, I swear she's going to be the mascot for this fucking attitude. There keeps being tons of videos that people keep showing of her opening show, and they were trying to sell tickets for like $8. They still couldn't fill it in. The whole stadium thing is empty except for a small group of people, and she's out there performing. It's like, you know, she had to be just like probably crying inside. Like, where's all my fans? What's happening here? It's like, you put out an attitude of being better than other people, it's going to come back on you. If you think you're so much better, then who's going to be around you? Especially as the rest of us are learning our own value and starting to understand, you know, I mean, she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand what's going on, I'm sure. I don't think all these different people, just because they're celebrities, I don't think that they are told what's happening right now. That's like everybody's got to click it in for themselves. Everybody's got to figure it out for themselves. And, you know, the bigger your ego is, the harder it is going to be to do that. And some of those people could be, their position holds them back from being able to really fall into this, because there's a lot of exposure to it. It's like a vulnerability, exposing yourself. It's like, to be real is to expose yourself. And a lot of these people, they've built their whole persona up on being fake, being good at being fake. So, hold on, let me drink. I'll try and drink the rest real quick so I set it down. Hold on. But one thing that was that I was seeing repetitively. So the things I was seeing on repeat, because that is like where you can see like where, well, in my algorithm, that's what's brought to me, is you can see all that powder stuff gets on my teeth and lips. You can see the energy of what's going through the collective. And so one of the things I was noticing right now is something's going on. I'm not sure what it is, but they are realizing that the media is manipulating them. And so they're all talking about that. And it's just as trippy when it, you know, you guys, when some of us were talking about that in 2020 and pointing that out, and people couldn't see, and you keep saying stuff, and then people can't get it, and, you know, you just sound like a crazy fool. And, but, you know, you can see it. It's crystal clear to you what's going on. And, but whatever was happening, that was a part of what I was supposed to wake up to. Whatever was happening in our world at that time, which to me, it makes sense, is because I was in medical, and when they were doing all that stuff, and it was daily and it was live, it was easy for me to see. I was paying attention because it was, you know, I knew something was up. I was drawn in by the first lie I heard, and it's on national TV. It's like, I'm just a fucking nurse. Like, especially when you work in the profession, the fucking ego, fucking mania that goes on. It's like, and y'all can't catch on? Like, what? Like, how are all these people pushing this? Like, what in the holy hell is going on? So it had me lured, man. I was in. I was watching and watching, trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? And that's when I saw. And that is when I started trying to tell other people. I started trying to wake people up to, there's some lying going on here. The media is, you know, I could see all this stuff. Then you start seeing it like they're giving two different stories. The whole thing. It's so manipulative. And, but when you're trying to tell people, you know, they can't hear you. But whatever's happening right now, he's got a whole bunch of people, tons of people are talking about the manipulation of the media and trying to get other people to wake up and pay attention and see what's happening. And so whatever's going on was all there to wake them up. The thing that I talk about, what is tedious about it, is like, for those of us who went through that part, then, you know, we have to keep, it's like you keep going through this. But to me, I've gotten to this point of just kind of detaching. That's why I don't know what it is that's driving this awakening part, like what's happening in the media, what's got all those people saying, you know, about the lies and stuff. I think it has something to do with politics, because that is a good one. Especially they've done all this stuff to draw so many people's opinion, or so many people's attention towards that. So of course it's going to be a lot of shit that's going to be going on. And I have seen, like, this is fucking for real. Even in the comments, like, this person is not alone. And so they voted blue last time. And now they feel like what's happening is they're trying to trick them. Like, they're trying to push them away from going with Joe, who they just assume go with again, because they feel like they're being tricked somehow. Like, they're trying to push him out so that they can put somebody else in. Like, they're feeling very tricked. Kind of like what I went through in 2016 when that went down with Bernie. That is what got me. But I was very much paying attention all at that time. I was already going to, I was already involved in activism. I was going to the Capitol, and it was all about the banking system of the house, because what they were doing, taking all the houses, and it hadn't even started, it had just gotten started. And I was affected because of the brain injury. So see, that's what I mean. Everything where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Things that you just have no idea. But so I was already involved with the activism over that. And we would go and do these marches. You might remember of seeing them. It was during Wall Street and stuff too. And we would go and march in front of banks and shit like that. And there was lots of marches, lots of them. And going to the Capitol, tried talking to the senators. I saw they don't give a fuck. We vote this shit in? Fuck off with this shit. It's fucking bullshit. And so all of that stuff, and then right was when they were, Bernie was hot on the fucking stage, and all the stuff he was saying was stuff that we wanted to hear. And so it was like, my daughter was drawn in first. She was the one who was sending me all his information. And then I started watching the stuff he was saying. I was like, this is what we want. This is how things should be more, not like how it is. And so I was like, fuck, tons of us were seeing that. And we all started, he had a huge, huge, huge following. I mean, huge. Like, I swear to God, it was as big as Donald's. His was huge. And he could pack a stadium and it would be full. And then it would be overflow of thousands and thousands of people outside. And he would go out and speak to them first. He was, you know, but whatever, you know, on their puppet shit and stuff. Like, I don't know his role and stuff. I just know at that time what was happening. And he had so much support. We were all just like so into him. And then they started doing this thing that they were going to put Hillary in. And that is when that whole thing, you had to be there for it and watch it play out. It was so fucking, you could see, it was so corrupt. I was just carrying on and carrying on. And then when you are in a liberal family and you start talking shit on the liberal bullshit, like I was fucking pissed, man. I was really in that activist kind of role too. And I And I was newer in my brain injury, you know. I was not very self-regulated. I'm pissed, man. And so anyways, that I was already awake to that part of the corruption. But this group of people now, they're feeling that, like, what the hell's going on? They're trying to all of a sudden move him out. And I don't know that they have, like, that I don't think that the people who support him in the way you support somebody who you appreciate them. They're more of like scared of the other guy because of all the media circus bullshit that they say. So they scare these people and they think that he's the safer one. So, and this is going to be like, they're going to, through this awakening, their course, because there's people who believe this shit. They really, really believe it. So you can see in this awakening how they have to take the shroud off of, like, how people think, like, there is you're like a different wing on a different bird. Like, it's two half birds going around. It's like two wings on one bird. They even talk about crossing the aisle and stuff. It's set up like it's the same machine. It's just two sides. And we are in this time of what is that called? It's like in human history, we're at this time of learning this two sides thing, this black and white. And that's why in the awakening part, where black or white becomes very uncomfortable, the whole thing. And remember, micro, macro, like, you can go on all different levels of this. And so black or white thinking is very disordered thinking. It's they have it. It's under like different personality disorders and stuff. It's not good. It's looked down upon. And so you should be able to look more broad, not be so black and white. But see, they have been more trying to really push on that, because it's kind of like what we came here to learn about. And so they are pushing. So that's why we have so many people who think so weird. Like, I can look back on times in my life where I would become confused in how I would look at things by how the whole group was looking at things. Like, to me, a big part is about the weight thing. Like, if you were, you know, paid attention to your body, that you became toxic, that you became the problem. You should just go with the flow, eat as much as you can, and gain weight with everybody else. And otherwise, you have, you know, the group looked at it as, what is that called? Like an eating disorder, or you had toxic characteristics and shit. So those kinds of things, and that would fuck with your head, because people would say stuff to you and stuff. So anyways, the group can affect us in how we it can make us have to question things, have to play things out, and trying to, but it's all to find ourselves. And so in the black and white, either or, red or white, all of the red or blue, this distinction that is created is where we have to, like, break it down. That's why I said we have to blend the shades to make gray. We have to see all the gray in between. Stop being so stuck on it's this way or that way, because who is the ultimate decider? And I know we are in a period of time where we have a huge amount of people who believe that there is a God over them. And I mean, they're kind of freaking out over some of us who are saying something different. And of course, but I've had this for my own mom. So I've had this for, you know, decades at this point, that we are the, you know, we're the devil's workers. Like, we're doing the devil's work. So anyways, but the people who think that they have a God over them, and that, you know, those of us telling you something different, we're trying to say we're as good as God or whatever. Um, but that is this, it all goes with this clearing your thinking in this black and white and this savior. Someone's here to save you. Someone's here to make the rules for you. And then there's people who are comfortable with rules. Like I see video after video after video. Somebody tell me what to think. Somebody tell me how to think. Somebody tell me what to wear. Somebody tell me how to do my hair. Somebody tell me how to do my makeup. Somebody tell me who I am, like all day long. And like people are so lost. And there's so many. I mean, it's obvious that it's our broken society. It's the things that are broken down in our society. So it's easy to go in and start looking at what needs to be repaired. And people don't have good self-esteem, but they don't have a good self-image. Like they can't. There's so, it's so scrambly over expectation and the distance that can become who you are in the expectation, and how much you're willing to give to the expectation, how much you're willing to conform away from yourself to please others. It's a long trail back to find yourself. It depends on how far you've gotten away from yourself. And so, but you have to find your way back to yourself, and all you have to do is go in the direction. You don't have to figure it all out, like where you're going to go. You just have to go in the direction. And I can't even stress it enough how important it is to get into the flow of life. Yesterday I was sitting outside. I don't remember what I'm always talking to them because, I mean, what are you going to do when you're alone? And I was talking, and I wasn't bitching, but I'll question things a lot. And it's not like that they get like, but it's just very like cut and dried. And so whatever it was I was conversing about, then man, I wish I could remember what it was. But then they said, you got to learn how to experience the experience. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, that is so much. Like, think about that. Think about, like, the experience. We're not experiencing the experiences. Like, an experience can even start and, you know, people run the other way, hide from it. But all of life is all full of experiences. And so many people trying to distract themselves. So it's very uncomfortable to experience the experience, to actually feel it, to go through it, to penetrate the experience. That is so much of the slow down and smell the flowers. The take it as it comes, be present. There's just a lot of things that is about us pulling ourselves into the moment, not losing grip of it, not becoming scattered, not becoming overwhelmed. Because you don't want to become overwhelmed by the experience, because then that could be what you're trying to learn from the experience, is how to maintain yourself, how to control your impulses, but control. There's so much is about this managing your emotions, and because your emotions start going wild, and even in the micro macro thing, how it's coming into our reality of how much our emotions affect us and stuff, like with this cortisol, and that they say like they keep people in stress and stuff like that, but all the things that does, the stuff with the hormones and men, like there's so much stuff with it, is so they try purposely to keep people in stress, so they stay in this hormone because it affects you in such a negative way. But see, that is where people have to realize how they're feeling. Like they're feeling stressed, and then it's up to them. Like, well, do you want to keep doing the thing that's stressing you out, or do you want to figure out how to maintain a certain level of emotional outpouring? And so you have to learn how to regulate yourself. Like, that is kind of abusing yourself to keep doing and saying, keep doing. I think right now a lot of us watching, watching stuff that people, it stresses them out. And that is abusing yourself, because when you are feeling yourself stressing out, then you got to take notice of that. You know, that's a part of learning how to regulate yourself, not getting yourself stressed out. It doesn't mean you're a better person because you stress out more or something. Oh, this, speaking of stress. So, this is so, like, I don't even know. Like, you're always learning about yourself. So, I'm still in this process. Like, you know, we all are. But, you know, I've had this thing for a long time of Stella and her loneliness. And the, and she's doing so good. And I swear what I said about the glucosamine and stuff, I think that made a difference. And plus, I just stay on top of this horse paste stuff. Like, I think our environment is so full of stuff that we need to kill all the time. And so she's doing really good right now. And except for, I think that she's got the anal gland thing that needs to be, it's like, so, and I've tried to figure out how to do it, and the vet had told me it's way back on her. Hers is way, and I keep trying to figure out how to do it. It's hard to figure out, and she's huge. So it's like, I'm gonna watch some more videos. So I don't know, but anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so she's doing really good, and she's being so playful, and she wants to do stuff. I was like, man, I should just foster. And I kept thinking of like, I could foster, especially because I see video after video after video. We've got such a crisis with the dog thing, and we created it. Like, people, like, you see people having puppies all the time. Oh, we just mixed this with this. Look what we created. Look at this. What are we going to call them? Oh, look at this. Look, oh, we got more puppies. And it's like every fucking video. People having puppies, and then the next video is how many of these dogs are being put to death. Like, these kill shelters have got to be shut down. Like, this is inhumane. Like, they're killing healthy animals. And they're killing them fast. It's like, real quick. It's fucking horrible. And, you know, and I know it's going into the food. I know it is. And that's like the part of humanity of, like, you want to turn a blind eye to this, well, it's going to come around and bite you. So just watch and see. You know, if that isn't told, that would be because they don't think that society could handle it, finding out what has been in the food and how bad it is. But it's bad. It's a lot of body disposal, of animal disposal, and it's ground up and fed back to society. So, let me think. And all of their snack foods and stuff all have some kind of a chemical or something, which could be something with that kidney thing, is so to cause addiction, to get you to crave artificial food. So but it's an addiction. It's a false chemical that creates this thing. So you keep craving it, and other things taste weird, and so you keep craving junk. And I can't believe, yesterday when we went out and walked, and how many people have so much soda in their recycled things. So much soda and beer. Like, there's so many people who don't take care of themselves, but they just think it's okay. Like, that, you know, when you're getting older. And then there's so much abuse too on movies and stuff about older people. Like, this is a true story. It's called a Boneyard. It's a true story about a boneyard that was found in New Mexico. And that the person who created it was not caught. And I don't know, another one had popped up, and another one popped up at the movie, so I don't know. I mean, he could have just moved states. That's what they do a lot, too. So, and they can be boneyards that people haven't even found. So, anyways, but Mel Gibson is the FBI profiler who comes. And the cop, I kept trying to figure out, who is this cop? I recognize his voice. I could kind of see his face. I didn't go look it up and look up him and stuff. I was more trying to figure, get my mind to show me, to place him. And especially his voice was so familiar. And all I kept thinking is like, man, that guy has changed a lot as he's gotten older. And it just kept making me think about how many people just let go and just change. But it's them that's changing. It's not like aging. It's like you're letting go. You're allowing it to be. But so many people accept it because that's what we've been told happens. So a lot of people, they don't take care of themselves, stuff like that, and then they start aging, and then they just go with the flow of aging because that's what happens. And, well, I'm getting old anyways. Well, I'm gaining weight anyways. Well, and just kind of let go of it all. Any kind of holding on. Like what I said before, it's like a lot about when people just give up on themselves. Like they just don't see themselves as having a lot of value anymore, like in the marketplace, say. And but in the conversations with this guy, who I'm thinking he's older, I don't know who the fuck he is, but the Mel Gibson character, I don't know how old he's supposed to be. I'm 70. I'm not sure, but the way the guy would talk to him and be like, "Oh, you're old. You're too old to work. You need to be home," and stuff like that. And I was thinking they do that kind of stuff all the time in movies. See how they just kind of try and push generations out the door, like get rid of them. And so they get other people to turn on them. And they've got so many younger people who've turned on the older people. So they've already got all that going. Like that's already been revealed. So but when you start seeing it, like in the programming and stuff, in the movies, it's all done on purpose. And another thing too that I had noticed in movies, that they'll put people who were like 80 years old in playing somebody who's 60. Like they try and get us to. Yesterday I put on this old movie. It was like from the 70s or something, and I don't remember what it was. I couldn't keep watching. It was too annoying. But it had this woman in it, and she goes and opens her fridge and gets something out and pops off the top and starts guzzling it down. And I was looking at her, and she's really overweight and really not taking care of herself and stuff. And I was thinking, man, this is so different. Like if you go and you watch like movies from the 40s and the way people look, I mean, sometimes you could have some older woman and she's gained some weight, but people are like fucking sleek, man. And they're all sleek and shiny. And then I've said before, like how my mom was constantly talking to me about how small people were, and oh, well, our waists are like 16 inches and all this stuff. And I always felt like this giant ogre. And anyone I would see in the old movies, I watched tons of old movies. This was more of my thing, was old movies and Lifetime movies. But but this woman, I was thinking, she's so like, just like, I don't know, just yuck, like, bleh, like doesn't care about herself. And they're pushing like she's just an older woman in this movie. It's like they did all this stuff. Like we went from one thing and then all of a sudden it became another thing, but they are the ones shuffling us around with what we accept in our programming. And so then groups and groups of society went like down that path that she laid open, like that this is acceptable, this is, this is normal, just go that way. And it's just such a jump. Like, that's why I said, like, uh, I think there'll be people who will go through these movies and stuff and decipher like our programming and how it shifted and moved and stuff, because it's there, you can see it, and I'm just like noticing it. And I think it's part of it is because I lived a lot of those decades, and I could see the shifts happening in society. But then when you go and you start watching this programming of the different time and how the shifts were occurring and stuff, you see it. It was like created, it was pushed in certain directions through getting us to look at things in certain ways. And the way we look at it, the way that they want us to look at things goes against our very being. That's why there's so much depression and people feeling bad and feeling bad about themselves, because you're being pushed away from yourself. That's why you've got to go back towards yourself. And they're trying to light up the way so you go in the direction that they want. But you have to go back towards where it's not a lit up path, back towards yourself. But you will see that there is, like, I see breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs are like the things that will come in and out because it's all set up for you. I just saw another one of these videos that a doorbell camera got, and this woman's outside in her driveway and she's doing some stuff. And I don't know, she's about 10 or 12 feet back from the driveway part, and she's standing right there. So the street's right there, and all of a sudden a car comes flying up and wrecks into her driveway and hits into something next to her driveway. I don't know if it's her mailbox, a tree or something, but something that was right there. It wrecks into it. I don't know, it kind of swings some, and she's just standing right there. And people always think like, there's these near misses and stuff. Well, that's how it can be perceived. That's what it's supposed to do, is make people have these feelings so that they go in deeper into things and realize, but everything is exact moment timing. Like, there was no way it was going to hit her, because if it was going to hit her, it would have hit her. And that if she was going to be injured, that would have happened. If she was going to be taken out, that would have happened. It was more of a thing to, and maybe it was, so this video would go and people would see it and start questioning their mind, or open that door in their head so that the information can be brought in by your experience or your guides, so you can understand it's like absolute perfection in timing. Like, I see this is kind of strange, but it's like a board, and it's got these little characters, and for some reason I keep thinking it was like German. I don't know, but it's like these little characters go with each little click. Like, they can't go outside of where it is that they are at that exact moment. And I don't know if it's like a game kind of thing or something. But anyways, so that's what life is like. Like, we are clicking into these little, like, everything is perfectly aligned for us all the time. And things are always happening for you. And I hear these videos all the time. People think that these are happening to them. And those are the two different ways of looking at life. Is it happening to you or happening for you? When it's happening for you, life has meaning. It has purpose. You feel good. You have an understanding. When it's happening to you, you feel like a victim. You feel out of control. You got to pray to the Holy Spirit. Please, please, get me out of this mess. You think things can happen to you that can't happen to you. You stress out. You try and control things. You think you can control where you're going and when you're going to be there. And you get mad when you're running late and you don't understand, like, no, you are right where you're supposed to be all the time. That is where you got to come into an understanding. It's like, I keep hearing allowing. So it's like allowing life to be. That is the thing with the experience, the experience. Allow this to play out. Get with it. You know, get with the program. Stop fighting against it. Start participating in it. And that is revolutionary. Revolutionizes us. So that is the revolution. The revolution is coming into, it's fighting against, that's trippy. It's fighting against the things that you think are there, but they're only there in your own mind because it's you who attaches to these things. And you attach to them through different parts of you, but it has to do with like biases, trying to please other people. It all has to do with these things of being lost in who you are. And so the more that you can go towards yourself, and like I have said, like, in order to find yourself, you have to be vulnerable. You have to set boundaries. You have to see yourself. You have to see the bad sides of yourself. You can't be in denial. You can't think like you're perfect and everybody else is an asshole. You got to be willing to see the parts of you that is an asshole to everybody else, how you affect other people. And that is, you know, when you start taking ownership of your behavior, that's when you start making changes to your behavior. In order to make changes to your behavior, you have to look at why your behavior was created. Where did it come from? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And that is why you need to go in and heal the things that created certain behaviors. And that is why you have to work on this this Kundalini rising thing, is because when you are just living like that, that is when you are on autopilot. And that is when you are in your lower chakra. You're not living your truth. You have to speak your truth to live your truth. You have to feel you have to feel that it is like, how can something have value if you don't fear losing it? And so there is this part of the healing with the heart where there's a lot of loss and stuff. So I think there's a lot of people who are up in the heart chakra. There's a lot of people who are speaking their truth out there speaking, you know, like the media is tricking it. Like it's more and more and more, you know. I was motivated as well to speak my truth back at the time to get people to see. So that keeps moving, but you can see how this awakening keeps shuffling. It's like the cards shuffling. And so there's nothing to get all caught up and angry at other people about. And when you feel like that, it is where you have to just realize, like, we all had different promotions that created our awakening. That was for us. That was our moment of truth. And everybody will have their own moments of truth, but we're still going to have an overall shift. Like the overall shift is going to be the pole shift. That's when things go the other direction. And I think we are shifting that way. But even if there is, you know, different folks who are pushing in on their energy going in a certain direction, that is minimal when you have so many people going this direction. But when they all turn and shift going, it's going to be like a wave. So that is going to be the pole shift. It's going to be very emotional because it's going to bring up so much pain and suffering that our community, our collective has carried for so long. Because you got to remember, these aren't just people who have been here just for this. We're surrounded. We are all people who have been here through all different periods of times. We've all gone through all sorts of shit here. Not just the shit that we're going through now. We've gone through all sorts of shit. And a lot of the shit that we went through before was way worse than the shit we're going through now. So we have a lot of a lot of healing, a lot of parameters being cleaned up, a lot of shifts that are being made. And that's why, we have to just ride this out as souls. But that is why when you are being challenged of being more judgmental on other people, that is what you got to remember what is going on and about the bigger picture. And to see, like, if this is bothering me, what is coming up? Why do I feel this way? And that is where you have to, learn to understand yourself and to manage yourself. And fear, I swear, fear tries to peek its head in on everything. Anything like you can go into where you feel really pushed in a certain direction, you can narrow it down and you can find fear in there somewhere. Like you are scared this may happen, so you try and control it to make this happen. And that is a waste of all your time and energy. You're trying to control something that you don't have control over. And this was something that was being told to me too when I was a kid. My mom would say stuff like that to me. Like I'd be trying to do something and she would say that stuff to me all the time and tell me, I was always what if, what if, what if. I drove her crazy and she'd be like, you got to stop with the what if. And like there was certain things that she told me and taught me at the time that I still had to go through the experience, but now I completely understand it. Like I went through and learned and experienced it, and I had certain, like we're all dealt hands. We all have certain hands that we're playing. And so I went through, my life, looking at life a certain way. And so all of us do. It's a part of our learning. It's a part of what we are here to experience. It's a part of like our soul's journey. It's not there's no accidents. It's like an accident. You are who you are. It's all very structured. Just like what I'm saying with this little thing. And I don't know if it's like some sort of, where I'm getting this is like some sort of a clock, like a cuckoo clock kind of thing that has, this is like a very elaborate, but anyways, but that vision of these things moving, and they can't, it's not like they can jump over here and go where they want. They have to move on this timer be exactly where they are when they are there. And that's what this is more like. And yeah, and some can sweep up by you. Oh, yesterday this was trippy. As me and Stella. Oh yeah, I didn't even finish saying the other thing. Okay, so Stella and I were laying outside, and because it's been sunny, so I've been laying out, and it's so weird. The sun is like, I don't even know, but it's still, I like to lay out in the sun. So we're laying out there, and I've got a lot of squirrels and chipmunks in my yard. And there's this one that's just constantly, I swear to God, it follows me around, just constantly yelling and bitching. I swear to God, it's been the same way for a couple of years. And it just bitches, 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 bitches. I think that's what it sounds like it's doing. But it'll come down all the time. And so Still's laying there, and I'm in the little chair thing, and this one tree's right here. And then the tree that I feed him on is way over here. And so her and I are just laying there, and suddenly something runs past us. And I jumped up, and I was laying on my stomach, so my top wasn't done. So I'm like, jump up, like, what the fuck was that? And Stella looked up, and she was like, and I thought, was that like a fucking little standing lizard? Was there a giant standing lizard that just ran past us? Like, what the hell? Do we have a dinosaur in the yard now? And but then I heard a noise, and I look, and it was the fucking chipmunk. And he was like up there, he had gone up a little and was like watching us to see like, what do we do? And I was like, oh my gosh. So this is the tree. He has to be in this tree. He has to live in this tree. He's going to run he's not going to jump from the, up in the, because it is pretty high. Like I look at these squirrels as like, fuck, these squirrels are badasses. They are so far up, and they're like, I don't know if monkeys got anything on squirrels. I don't know. These fucking, we'd have to have the monkey squirrel acrobat Olympics or something. But these squirrels are badasses and they're way up there. But this guy, he obviously would rather trek across the ground real quick. And so he did it a couple more times. I was like, oh my gosh, and he goes so fast. I could not believe how fast that guy could run. And it was just the cutest little thing. But the other thing I was going to say about Stella, so, you know, I've been on this thing like with the fostering, and I kept seeing all these videos, and it was very motivating. Like, God, I can't just sit and bitch about something. I've also got to do my part. And I've got a lonely dog who wants a pack, who makes me go sit at the neighbors so she can go lay over at this other pack. You know, like, she just wants to be a part of something. And so I was like, well, I gotta, you know, I'll do that. And however timing went or whatever, and I saw this girl's video, and it was a foster place or a rescue place over here, and it was for pugs, and so all little dogs. So it's got bulldogs, French bulldogs, pugs. It has some chihuahuas, but it has like all these small, and then all the mixes, because everybody's mixing up everything. And so anyways, this one girl who I'd seen her videos, she had put in the thing, and they called her the next day, and the next day she had a dog. And she said it was the sweetest dog. She was so excited. Her dog is so excited now, you know, and all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. And every time we would go to the dog park, Stella loves little dogs. She just always loves little dogs. And I was like, that'd be so much better than getting a big dog that's jumping on her, or rowdy, or whatever. And so I filled out the application, and then my email went down. And I was like, okay, so is my email down because they're trying to tell me don't do this? Like, I'm going in the wrong direction. And, but I wasn't forcing anything. I mean, I filled out the application, but fuck, I filled out other applications and stuff. They just disappear. So so anyways, I had, it took me all, because I didn't have emails for all one day. It still isn't working right. I didn't get emails for all one day. So then yesterday, when there was still none, I was like, okay, this is some bullshit. I would have hundreds and hundreds by now. And so, and then I started thinking, what if that place is trying to message me and I'm not even answering or responding? And so then I was like, man, what the fuck? So I'm trying to figure out my emails. And I mean, I was trying everything, like so many fucking things. And, but apparently your email has storage, and you can fill up your email storage. And then, but now they have a new thing that you can pay for more storage. And it's so absurd and ridiculous, because when my phone had filled up with the storage, when this already happened before, when they cleared out my iCloud and cleared off my phone, all my pictures for fucking 10 years. And if you weren't here for that, that was very traumatizing. It really was a big learning thing, to let go of all of these memories that you hold on to. And you know what, I'm always is like, you got them inside here. Just don't rely on those. Don't get it in your head. You need that for your memories. It's like, yeah, but God, it's hard. And so but when they did that fucking bullshit, I had already cleared out all my fucking emails. I took my email off my iCloud thing, and I cleared out all the bullshit out of my things. And I wiped out so much stuff. So I was like, bullshit, if my fucking email is full of stuff. What storage are we allowed now in email? I was like, what absurdity. And so I was clearing shit out and keep clearing it. And I don't know, there's just like these glitches, these stagnations. There's numbers jumping around, doing all this shit. Most of my things have nothing in them. I keep trying to clear the trash and the all mail. And the all mail, you tell it to clear it. I don't even know what the fuck. The numbers are going weird. And so I've gotten a few emails that I've come across now. And, but anyways, it's more of their nonsense fucking bullshit. And, but I did talk to the place. So they had emailed me, and then they called me. And so then they had me call another lady, because she had some right now that she needed to move because she's not even a foster place. She's just a boarding place. And they filled her up because there was such a crisis. And so they're trying to get ones moved out of her thing. And because she's got too many dogs with her boarding business and stuff. So anyways, when I taught, so I called her and to see, you know, over this fit thing, what would be a good fit for Stella. And still, when these people are like 2 hours away, that's still like, ugh, especially when you don't have a car. Like, I don't have a car till next week. And I don't know why, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, well, they'll just bring it to you anyways. No. And then, and there's a lot of, like, you have to drive the dogs to appointments. I think that they have, like, these, uh, these little, like, festival things or something where you bring all these foster dogs and then there's like a adoption day or something and people can come and pick them out. You have to kind of do advertisements for the dog. So you got to kind of go on your social media and show the dog and tell about the dog so that the dog can get out there and find its home. And so there's a whole thing to it. And so when I was talking to her, though, and she sent me 2 dog pictures. One looks like this long-legged pug. It's cute. I was like, he's got a look on his face, too. I was like, I still really like him. He'd probably be a cute couple. It's very cute. But he's very scared of people, which, you know, I want it to be somebody who she can have fun and hang out with and run out in the yard so she doesn't sit and whine at me to come out with her. And then, but the woman said, you can't, like, she couldn't get near him, put on a harness. But then I was saying, oh, Stella likes to go for a walk. And she's like, this would be a better one to go on the walk with because he's so full of energy. And then I'm like, okay, but he won't jump out the gate. He won't jump over the fence or anything. And she was like, no, but you can't get near him. This is what gets me. You can't get near him. And my throat. You can't get near him. But he has to wear a belly band in case he pees. And the, so in case he pees, he has to wear this belly band. But how are you supposed to put a belly band on when you can't get near him? Then there's all this stuff you have to get, too. Like, you have to have, like, a setup. Like, you have to have a crate. You have to have leashes and harnesses and dog food bowls and all this stuff. And she was like, well, I can give you one of those. I can give you one of those. But it was kind of like overwhelming me. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get all this stuff. I went, and so, and then, you know, I can't get near the dog to put the thing on. Like, is the dog gonna bite me? How scared is it? Like, and then it's like, well, you know, is it her problem? So, you know, this is like this whole thing with this rescuing dogs that have been treated bad. Then the other one that she was saying out of her group that would be good to go here is this other one. He just doesn't ever want to get up. He's just super, super lazy, just real sweet, but he's just pretty lazy and chunky. And he looks like some kind of an Ewok little, like, creature or something. He's really cute, funky looking little creature. But this is what these people, everybody's mixing everything, you know, oh, look what we created. And then here we have it. All these fucking Dr. Frankenstein houses creating all these dogs that are just going and being unloved and unhomed. And I just saw a video of a dog that was been in the shelter since it was 1 week old. And then it did have a foster person take it, but the foster person took it back to the shelter and the dog's just laying over there so depressed. And then I saw the first 2 comments were both people in California who were interested. So I think, Jesus Christ, your whole fucking life. And, man, we're just in prison. Like, how is it, why in the world is it make more sense to do a shelter than to do like a little farm and have it out there? And then why on this farm, why not grow some food to feed the animals? Why are we always needing to donate to these things? Why isn't there is just better ways to do this shit? It's just, so much of this shit is absurd. The workers who sit there answering the phone could be outside gardening and interacting with the animals, and people who want to adopt pets could go to these little farms and go around and hang out with the dogs and bring their dogs, like a big dog park. And, you know, I mean, there's so much better ways that we can do this stuff than what they're doing. It's all about money, and I think they're killing all these dogs real quick to put them in food and shit. Like, it's just so absurd. It's just all so sickening. And so, anyways, but I was all of a sudden becoming super overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Is this crazy? I was like, I don't know. Am I going too much into it in my head? Is it like, I'm just saying, yeah, this dog can come and stay with me for a while, and I'm like freaking the fuck out about it now? It's like, I don't know. And then I told her, well, I don't have my, she goes, well, you could come out and hang out with them and see, which seems like to be a better fit. And I'm thinking, well, geez, it seems like I should take Stella for that. And then it's like 2 hour drive to get there, and that's with no traffic. And then 2 hours back, then, and I don't have a car yet. And then as soon as I get my car, I'm going to go over to Spokane. It's my mom's 80th birthday. Like, I may not be into birthdays, but, you know, she is. This is her 80th one. So I was like, well, that would be perfect timing. I just get my car back, zip over there, hang out with her for her birthday, and see my other daughters, see my grandkids in Spokane, and then head home through Yakima and see my other daughters and my grandkids, and then get home. And then I was like, okay, so then I could get one. And she goes, well, she probably wouldn't even have those ones there anymore. They'll probably be gone before that. And so then I was like, okay. And I'm just getting more and more overwhelmed. And so we had stopped talking and everything. And but I was just like, oh my gosh, I was feeling so overwhelmed. I just kept having all these questions, like, you know, man, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, do I just need to have boundaries? I mean, I don't think I should be rushing this. Like, okay, well, like, I'll get him and take him right away. And then I got to go I was like, can they even go in the car and travel? And she goes, well, yeah, I mean, you got to have your things on and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but then I'm showing up at other people's houses with 2 dogs. It just seems like I just need to do it with Stella, just take Stella, go on this trip, come back, and then do it. And, you know, and this girl who's next door, she started fostering, and she just did those 2 puppies, and they both got adopted, and she hasn't done another one. But I feel kind of bad that I said, yeah, I'll do it. But then it's like, well, you know, I don't have a car right now. But I don't know, maybe that other girl was right in Seattle and they could deliver the dog, and they had one that needed to go someplace right then. But I don't know. The first lady I talked to, too, she was on her way out the door for the 4th. And even when she was talking to me, it was so chaotic. I was like, oh my God, it was overwhelming my brain. Because in the background, she had her whole family, dogs barking, her family's like packing up. They're all going to the fireworks show. It's so noisy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to concentrate on what you're saying. And she was saying things, and I was like, man, is that a sign? I think so. Anyways, I'm just going to slow down and just wait and see. And my stomach's growling, and just like, there's nothing to fucking eat. There's food, but it's like, man, I can't eat fucking the things that I like to eat. I can't eat cookies and breads and danishes and sweet rolls. Ugh. And so, anyways, I'll just go eat a handful of almonds for breakfast. And I don't even want to say breakfast for my... And this shit on the stomach growling thing where these people keep saying, like, I don't know. But my stomach isn't just growling, it's hurting too. It's like I'm starving. So it doesn't just make growling noises. It makes like I'm starving feelings all over my whole body. So go eat some almonds for my first stomach growl session. So anyways, but that's what I got for you. That's how I'm looking at things today. Just as this awakening, whenever you start getting perturbed about it, you got to look at your own self. You can see this is really happening. This is really going. And it won't stay as tedious. Like, you know, it's been very long and drawn out, but there's going to be this big shift, and there's so much stuff going on. And all these people do have to see, like, that they're staying divided on something that isn't real. That they're all staying on their own sides. That's why you got to get in the gray. You got to listen to what other people say and pull in. Don't, the polls are created by, it has to be this way. It has to be my way. This is the only way to do it. Well, any of us who have been told by somebody, well, you have to do it this way. Yeah, but what if I do it this way? No, it has to be done this way. Yeah, but you can do it this way. It doesn't matter. You got to do it this way. Like, I lived with somebody who was like that. And that is such a black and white thinking. There's more than one way to do things. And there is just having it be, this is the only way. That is the creation of black and white thinking. And the frustration when people are not listening to you because you know what's best. You know the right way. And it's like, but you're the one who's got to make the changes. You're the one who's got to relax and be like, oh, well, look, I'm just going to watch how they do it. They've got their own way of doing it. I'm going to just let them, you know, play that out. I'm not going to try and fix it for them. Just let this happen, let that happen. Let everybody live their lives. Let everybody learn their own lessons. Quit trying to interfere and think that we know what's best and what they're here to learn and what they need to know. Just enjoy the show. Sit back and enjoy the show. Just get in your mind of what's really going on here. Is just people learning and growing, and you know, and get with yours when things click into place for you. Be present, deal with what you got to deal with, and use time and reflection to grow and expand your view of how you see things. So anyways, that's what it's all about. Learn how to love yourself and love everyone, and have a loving day, because it is up to you. And then I'll talk to you later. Bye.